What's up, guys? Non-Fungible Bros here, Fred and EJ, and we're bringing you some exclusive content here on January 2nd, 2022. Happy New Year to our fans, subscribers, and everybody who's liked our content so far. And we want to talk about the recent price jump in the Becky Cloonan NFT and the Todd McFarlane Batman NFT, along with the Superman NFT. Some that would refer to that as blue chips. And obviously, over the last couple of days, of people getting wind of this over the holidays, it's been very, very, very interesting to see what's been happened over the last few days. And EJ, take it away. Tell me what you got.
Okay, so a little side tangent. Back in August, Freddie is the one that put me on to VeVe, and I didn't really realize how big it was going to get. So I did my research, and then October, I was ready to dump some money in. I kept hearing about this Todd McFarlane Batman, and eventually I ended up picking up a Todd McFarlane Batman for around $1,700. And then I did a little more research, and I saw that the entire first set ever released on VeVe was the Batman set. Four different Batman from four different artists. Rizzo having the #1 title, and Todd Mack closing the whole set with the #100 title. So Rizzo back in October was around 5,000. Becky Cloonan, who she's the first female artist to be featured on VeVe, was at $670, and Joe Mad was $432. Present day, Rizzo is 10,000 floor. This is 3 months later, by the way. Becky Cloonan is at 1,250. Joe Mad is at 780, and Todd Mack is 4,600. So that's a 2 times gain from an $8,000 investment. It's
Now,
a little.
keep in mind, EJ. Now they're two different artists, right? You're talking about Todd McFarlane is a different artist than the Edward Rizzo, correct? So everybody understands that.
All different, yeah. 4 different artists for these first 4 appearances of Batman.
Okay, and the Rizzo is obviously a very secluded one because that in itself only has a certain number of editions as opposed to the McFarlane. McFarlane is the same thing, or is it not?
McFarlane has 7,500 editions. They labeled it as a common on release, and Rizzo has 1,750. They labeled it as, it's actually the first ultra rare on VeVe.
Okay, so that in itself is just kind of showing you that in itself is so the McFarlane is more right now than the Rizzo.
No, the Rizzo is top dog at 10,000. Then the Rizzo.
Okay.
Then Joe Mad.
Interesting. Yeah, because you see the way that these prices fluctuate, and I think more of it's so is that people are starting to see the rarity in the Rizzo. And you kind of understood that wasn't really reflected a couple months ago, and now that people are starting to get wind of it, seeing that obviously that's happening, and the significance of holding the value of something that only has 1,750 of them now is really, really important going forward. And to kind of go off of that, you're seeing a lot of this happen now, where a couple weeks ago, even with the Steamboat Willie, whatever it was on drop, what was the drop money, EJ? I forgot on the actual drop
on Steamboat.
Yes, on Steamboat.
$60 was retail.
$60 is retail, and you see that already selling for, I think it was around 5,000 gems. Point being that, you're talking about the rarity and the value. I think that the value really does take precedent here, because you're seeing the ones that are jumping going into these obviously winter months are the ones that are obviously holding value and significance. Steamboat Willie with the first one that was actually a show to have sound on TV. And obviously one of the first Disney episodes to ever be created. So knowing that, I think people are picking up on those tips and just understanding the significance in that aspect. And that aspect is no other with the Becky Cloonan being the first female, and then the Rizzo. It's all kind of the same thing in that sense. But, going forward with that, you got to kind of be able to understand what are the valuable points in that. So EJ, if you can kind of talk more about why you took the first set and made that part of your collection and collectibles, why you think that's so significant going forward.
I think as VeVe is growing, I think people are starting to catch wind of what's going on and doing their own research. So like I did 4 months ago, they're researching first woman to ever appear on VeVe, have a collectible on VeVe, first appearance of anything on VeVe being Todd McFarlane. First set, the whole Batman set's the first set. Things like this, you don't want to miss out on when you're able to attain it, right? When it doesn't empty your wallet completely, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was well worth it for me at this present time. I'm not looking to sell. I'm holding this thing for a minimum of 3 to 5 years right now in my mind. If something happens and someone wants to offer me the money that I want for it, then I'll do that. But right now, I'm holding.
Right. And I think that's a good point too, because, you're talking about the actual value of these, and 3 or 5 years down the line, VeVe's going to be on season, whatever, et cetera. Right. So that's kind of going into your head as well, playing out of how many more are going to actually come out of this, how many more are actually going to be a kind of like an offshoot of this. It's kind of weird to say that there is only a certain amount of number of these, and, they really can never be, replicated. So knowing that, you kind of want to look at the ones that are already out and say, what can kind of be built on top of this, right? Batman is a global brand. Superman is a global brand. Disney is a global brand. So when you see all the smaller ones coming out under that, right? It's almost like a tree. What is the ones that are going to be all the way on the top that, obviously the apples don't fall far from the tree. And you're seeing that the basic ones are always going to be there. They're always going to be solid as far as their value and significance. If we can kind of jump into the Superman now, EJ, because you told me about this a little bit earlier today about the actual value in that, seeing that actually a pretty big jump, because we watched that, be around the 1,500 gem range for the last couple months. And I was telling you, like, I don't really know if this is a great pick to have in my collection. And you said, Freddie, don't worry about it. You see the value in that. You can kind of speak more to that and why, kind of went up the last few days.
I think it's definitely fun. I think all of the superheroes right now, there's a trend going on where they're all going up. I think it's really more people are finding out about VeVe. Their numbers are going up every week, every day. There's more users, and I think a lot of them are doing their due diligence, researching what is this, that, third. Everyone around the VeVe community likes to throw around the word blue chip, right? So there's blue chip single NFTs, right? So like Todd, like the Walt, those are blue chips single, but they're also blue chip sets. So Superman in itself is a blue chip NFT, in my opinion, and I think that it's terribly undervalued at $2,000 right now.
Oh, well, we'll look at that in a second. I'm actually going to pull this up. So right now we can see on the screen, you have a $453,000 market cap for the Superman, right? Now let's go to the Rizzo here and check that out, because the Rizzo is obviously, valued way more than the actual Superman. So let me pull that up and see what we can get here, because that's going to kind of tell the story of, okay, the rarity kind of speaks for itself. Why is it not coming up here? Let's see. Sorry, guys. We're working with technical difficulties here. We got a lot of issues because we can't be together. So Batman, Amanda Connor. See, look, these are obviously all, part of the black and white set. These are obviously one of the ones you could possibly get. So here's the kind of the discrepancy I wanted to bring out. So you see here that the Eduardo Rizzo Batman, 559,000 market cap compared to what? The Superman, which is only 443,000. So knowing that, okay, the value in the Batman, because obviously it's more rare, you're thinking, okay, I think that either the Batman is either overvalued or the Superman is very, very undervalued. And that's why you're starting to see people pick up on that and that little discrepancy there. So going forward, right, you got what I'm saying there. So you see with the market cap, how you can kind of see maybe it's not really because of the rarity. Maybe it's just because of the actual significance of the actual NFT. So I think that going forward is something that you as fans need to pay attention to. Looking at the first editions, the first seasons, just looking at that type of discrepancy. But yeah, other than that, I think that's what we wanted to cover today. And we're going to be going through tomorrow and the next day, I think a little bit more about the actual Marvel series, because we really want to cover that going into 2022 and what we think the impact can be, especially the comics. We spoke about the comics 2 videos ago, but more so in the fact that we're seeing the real comic people and the fans pick this all up right away. This isn't something that has taken a couple months to kind of take track. It's happened right away, immediately. And it shows you that the community is very receptive to that. So when the user base grows, what's going to be the type of thing that happens again, if that makes sense. So,
yep.
But thank you guys for your time, and we'll definitely see you guys soon. And Non-Fungible Bros are out. See you later.
Peace.